English Premier League clubs are pushing for an emergency meeting next week, angered by the purchase of Newcastle United by the sovereign wealth fund of Saudi Arabia. The sale is 80% funded by the state's public investment fund. 10% comes from PCP Capital, led by CEO Amanda Staveley, and the rest, as you can see, from RB Sports and Media. It's part of a wider trend of wealthy Gulf states investing in football. Paris Saint-Germain is majority owned by Qatar, while Manchester City is funded by Abu Dhabi royalty, and now Saudi Arabia has joined the party. The practice has been called sportswashing. That is the idea that states can use sport to tidy up their public image. I earlier spoke to James Dorsey, the author of The Turbulent World of Middle East Soccer, and I started by asking him how the Saudi purchase of Newcastle United redraws the power dynamic in the Middle East.
Well, I think what we're seeing is a pattern in which sports is part of a bigger move, which is a move by the Saudis to basically, in whatever sector it may be, positions themselves as the top dog in the Gulf. If you look at Saudi sports strategy over the last 5 years since Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman came to power, it only succeeded in basically paying for events to take place in Saudi Arabia. It failed in every other regard. This is their first success, and it puts Saudi Arabia on the same par as Qatar and United Arab Emirates in competing for prestigious assets.
Both the Premier League and Newcastle's new owners say that there is a difference between the billions of dollars in the public investment fund and the Saudi state. Do you believe that's the case?
The Saudi state and the public investment fund are about as close as my arms are to my body. The PIF is the sovereign wealth fund of Saudi Arabia, under full control and total control of the Crown Prince, and designed at the moment to further his economic reform plans, diversification away from oil, and so on and so forth.
The purchase of Newcastle United appears to be, as you mentioned there, a part of a wider trend of sovereign wealth funds making bigger and bolder sporting acquisitions. Do you think we'll see issues like human rights and climate change play a more significant role in allowing such investments to be made?
We should. In fact, what we have, if you look at Britain, where a lot of these acquisitions take place, the English Football Association has a smell test, if you wish, which is supposed to look at whether or not the integrity of the owner is one which should allow him to own an asset like a football club. Human rights technically are not part of that smell test, but they certainly should be, and that should be something that is equally applicable across the globe. But one can assume from the conclusion that the PIF and the Saudi state are separate and have little to do with one another, that whoever was doing the smell test, the fit and proper test, wanted this to happen no matter what.
James, thanks very much for joining us on SBS World News. We really appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
That was James Dorsey, the author of The Turbulent World of Middle East Soccer.